enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified of all future uploads, and check the description box below the video for important links and information. How you doing, guys? It's Eric from RuleTheWasteland.com, and my hair is full on Johnny Bravo today, so you're welcome or you're sorry, depending on your opinion. This video is in reference to a comment that I received, and I don't think I'm even going to mention the person's name because I'm not actually trying to drag this person or like beat them up. I just think it's indicative of a mindset that I really am trying to, I don't want to say cure, but that I think is prevalent, and it's an incorrect way of looking at things that's within the prepper community pretty commonly. But I do think it was an earnest comment. It wasn't someone who was trolling or anything like that. So it doesn't bother me in any way, and I'm not trying to give this person a hard time, so I'm going to leave them out of it. But this kind of attitude or mindset, I guess, it's more of a mindset than an attitude, is prevalent. And the comment is related to 5 things that if you're not doing them, you're not a prepper or you're not prepping. So obviously the first 2 are buying Killdozer t-shirts for June 4th Killdozer Day and Rule the Wasteland survival fishing kits, links in the description. No, I'm joking. But the comment says if you are not, and then list 5 things, you are not prepping. And when the shit hit the fan, the lights are not coming back on in our lifetime, period. Those of you with MREs, generators, survival flashlights, water purificators, nameology, and etc. are just postponing the day of reckoning when you will have to eat roots, berries, hunt small game, burn firewood, build houses from stones and mud, always in plentiful, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And the list of if you are not doing these things, you are not prepping, are raising chickens, growing potatoes, specifically potatoes, learning to work with hand tools, getting fit, and most importantly, getting on your knees in prayer. If you're not doing those things, you are not prepping, according to this person. So I've spent a lot of time on this channel talking about how prepping is not just for the end of the world. And this specific mindset of even using the words, when the shit hits the fan, the lights are not coming back on in our lifetimes, period. So this individual, and this is a very common amongst the prepper community, has a very specific idea that at some point during their lifetime, the lights are going to go off permanently. There's going to be a permanent grid down event that's going to happen. And I don't think that's true. It's certainly possible, but as I mentioned in a video very recently, even an event that would cause an extremely widespread shift to the fan, maybe the entire country even goes grid down without rule of law for, years, that's not going to be a permanent event. It would literally have to be a worldwide grid down event, full-on zombie apocalypse over the entire globe for these things to last more than even like an EMP event to last more than a few years before some other country moves in or something. And then as far as the specific items, growing why potatoes specifically? What if you're in a place where potatoes just aren't going to grow? And none of these things are bad. Raising chickens, I've had chickens before. Growing food is amazing. It's perfectly fine. Learning to work with hand tools, that could be useful. Getting fit, I've ranted about getting fit. That's super important. And getting on your knees in prayer, depends on your personal beliefs, obviously. But the point being that it's a spectrum. Preparedness is a spectrum, and it's so unlikely for any of us to be in a situation during our lifetimes where the lights never come back on. And that doesn't mean that if you're in New York City and you're not growing potatoes and raising chickens, you're not prepping if you have 3 to 4 months worth of supplies totally taken care of, antibiotics, self-defense, food and water, ways to travel. So they're not a prepper just because they don't have a potato sprig stuck in the ground? Doesn't make any fucking sense. It's just an illogical way to look at it. It's mostly, I'm not sure if this mindset is based on just an exclusivity, like wanting to feel like, oh, I'm doing it the right way, or if it's fear-based, like it's gonna go to shit, you have to do this, because the shit hit the fan is going to happen. I tend to, and I encourage everyone else to look at prepping as general preparedness. That's what the word prepping comes from preparing. And for what is the obvious question, and my answer is exactly. We have no idea. There's tons of things that can happen to you. There's no point in so you're raising chickens, growing potatoes, using hand tools. What if you all of a sudden just lose your job and you don't have some money stored away? Are you really prepared? Can you consider yourself a prepper if you can't deal without getting your paycheck for a few weeks? If you if there's a little pandemic in your area, not even pandemic, but say there's a wildfire or a disease outbreak, and you have to leave your homestead, or a propane train derails, like what happened in Weyauwega, Wisconsin, and they say you have 2 minutes to get out of here because this thing could blow and completely level the whole town like a nuclear bomb went off. Notice I said nuclear. I said it properly that time. And you're going to say, oh, I'm a prepper because I have chickens, but I have no way to leave and bug out within, it takes me 2 days to get all my shit ready, or I don't even have a working vehicle or whatever. Like, is that being prepared? Are you being prepared if you don't have, you're in a minor car accident on a rural road and you end up bleeding out because you don't have a basic first aid kit with you, but you're prepped because you're growing potatoes or you have chickens? The chickens are going to come out here and apply the tourniquet for you? I don't think so. There's just so many things that can happen to disrupt your normal lifestyle, way of life, your health, whatever. And having methods, having tools, having resources to deal with that all counts as preparedness in my book. So don't get too caught up on what other people's definitions of prepping is. Certainly don't get caught up on only preparing for the end of the world, because there's stuff that happens to people every day that having basic levels of preparedness squared away could make a huge difference, could even save your life, certainly turn a major problem into a minor nuisance. And none of them in the past few decades, centuries, whatever, have been related to massive societal collapses. Even insane events throughout history are usually localized and always temporary. So don't get caught up on end of the world stuff. Don't get caught up on thinking there's anything particular that you have to do to count as being prepared. If you only feel the need to have 72 hours worth of supplies, you are so far ahead of the average person even then that it's not even funny. And you're still going to put yourself in at least a position where you have options in any major shit the fan event. And if you have months of supplies and the ability to defend them and the ability to bug out and everything, I don't understand how you could not be considered a prepper at that point, regardless of how many plants and chickens and homes. I mean, what this person is describing is a homesteader anyway, not necessarily a prepper. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a lifestyle choice. It has nothing necessarily to do with being prepared. You could have all these things that they list: chickens, potatoes, work with hand tools, be super fit, and praying daily, and be not prepared for almost any disruption in the infrastructure or your normal day-to-day life. Versus you could be someone who lives in a high-rise in New York City and with none of the things they list, and be absolutely prepared for 99.9% of any possible disaster scenario that could ever happen. So let me know what you guys think. If there is any particular thing that you think not doing would make you not a prepper. For me, the only thing that could possibly make you not a prepper is not preparing at all. And if you're just preparing barely, I think you might be a hobby prepper or novice prepper, whatever, depending on how you want to look at it. And I think you should be more serious. But if you're preparing for future events by trying to increase your resiliency and self-sufficiency, you are a prepper. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Check out the Killdozer shirts. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. And don't forget you can support yourself and this channel by checking out RuleTheWastelandStore.com, where we have an ever-increasing amount of survival and preparedness gear, including one of the best survival fishing kits on the market.